November Planning Board Commission meeting. I'd like to call this meeting to order. First order of business is Pledge of Allegiance. If you'd all stand and please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Agenda item 3, public comment. Any public comment? Seeing none, we'll move on. Verification of the posting of the agenda.
The agenda was posted on November 5th as stated on the agenda in accordance with NRS 241 and Churchill County Code.
Item number 5, consideration and possible action regarding the approval of the agenda as submitted or revised.
Tammy Ishman, for the record, I approve the agenda as submitted and revised.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the agenda as submitted. Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Sorry, Diane. Bear with me a little bit. Was that, who was the second on that? Joe? Oh, sorry, Vic. Okay, moving on. Verification of all landowners, notification of landowners in accordance with the NRS and the Churchill County Consolidated Development Code.
All landowners, all attempts to reach out to the landowners as required by code and NRS were done.
Very good. Item number 7, consideration of possible action regarding approval of minutes of the meeting held on October 8, 2025 for the public hearing.
Yes, I move to approve the minutes of the meeting held on October 8th.
Second.
Not on these items, we haven't been, okay. Do we need to? Okay. It's been moved and seconded that we approve the minutes as submitted. Those in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay, moving on. Old business. Item A, consideration of possible action regarding review of a special use permit, SUP 1039, previously granted to Omaha Track Incorporated on July 13th, 2022, for a rail-based services facility. The property is located at 1006 Nevada Street, Assessor's Parcel Number 009-251-86 and 009-251-92. The Planning Commission requires an annual review of the permit until such time as they deem it no longer necessary. The Planning Department could bring us up, give us some updates, and then, is there anybody here to represent Omaha Track? If you wouldn't mind, come forward and state your name and address for the record, please. Just in that microphone right there, there's a little red microphone. Just press that and it'll turn green and then go. Thank you.
Meg Ridge, 1006 Nevada Street.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. Excuse me, Randy Hines, Public Works Planning and Building for the record. After visiting the site and having discussions with Meg, all conditions of this have been met, and staff recommends that we have no more yearly reviews for this project.
You have any comments or anything you'd like to add to that?
No, thank you.
Okay. I'll open this up for discussion amongst the board members. Any board members have questions or thoughts? Okay, seeing none. Any public comment? All right, I'm going to open it up for a motion then.
Mr. Chair, Joe Frey for the record. I move to no longer require annual review for this application.
I second.
Been moved and seconded that we end all annual reviews for this application. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Item B, Consideration and possible action regarding review of a special use permit SUP 1078 previously granted to Cheek Construction on November 8th, 2023 for off-premises outside storage. The property is located at 9843 Carson Highway. Assessor's parcel number 007171-76. The Planning Commission requires annual review of the permit until such time as they deem it no longer necessary. I see we have a representative from Cheek here. If you could state your name and address for the record, please.
J. Lingenfelter, 1235 Venerachi Lane.
Planning.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. Randy Hines for the record. So we did a site visit on the site, and there's just a few items that that either need to be discussed or explained by the applicant, and then there's one that still needs to be finished. So just wanted to emphasize that the employees must come and go as described in the staff report. Again, this is a storage facilities. There's no employees on site, so I just wanted to emphasize that. As far as working on site, right, they're there to load the trucks and leave, come back and load the trucks or unload the trucks and leave. The screening has been substantially complete, except for the northwest corner along the old Walker Lake disposal area. Back when Walker Lake disposal, I think it was Walker Lake, right, Dean? Mm-hmm. Walker Lake disposal was there on that empty lot on the northwest corner of the parcel. They were going to work together to screen that area. That screening, now that they're not there, we just need to get that screening back in place or put it in place. That's one of the conditions that needs to be finalized. The lighting on the building, we noticed there's no site lighting. There is lighting on the building. We just wanted to confirm that that's down, that lighting goes down and not out. Okay. And then the last thing is the landscape, and that's 3B. The applicant proposed in the application that a 10 by 550 foot landscape area across the front of the property which would consist of rock border filled with decomposed granite, mounds, decorative rock, et cetera. That has not been done yet either. So that's another condition that needs to be finished. And with that, I can answer any questions.
Mr. Lingenfelter, have any comments or?
No, we'll get on the fence screening. Yeah, they kind of left us high and dry on that. As far as the landscaping, we plan on having that all done this winter, so.
Open up to the board, members of the board.
You see all matters that need to be met within the past year that haven't been met will be met within the next year, or what is your time frame? Are you talking the end of 2025?
And I can just add if it's really the landscape and the screening, again, we can probably take care of that with staff. And if you guys, unless you guys want to see them again in another year, so the landscape, if they plan on having that done this winter, that's just something we can go out, take a look at, and if you guys give us the authorization to do that.
And just for the record, this is an on-site storage facility, so you are confirming that there are no employees that load any other customers, just strictly your trucks?
Could you hit that? Oops.
Yes, we just load our dirt trucks and our concrete trucks on site.
Okay.
Joe Frey for the record. Yeah, if staff can do a review later on, I don't see any need to continue to bring them back next year, as long as you guys feel comfortable with that.
Any other comments? No? Any other public comment? Seeing none, I'll open the floor for a motion.
Mr. Chair, Joe Frey for the record. I move to no longer require annual review for this application.
I second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we end the annual reviews for this special use permit. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. 4. Okay, thank you very much. Moving on. Item C, consideration and possible action regarding review of special use permit SUP 1079 previously granted to the Safety Clean Systems Incorporated on November 8th, 2023 to increase throughput to 33,300,000 gallons and to install a hydrogen generator. The property is located at 22211 Bango Road, Assessor's Parcel Number 007-071-80 and 007-071-81. The Planning Commission requires annual review of this permit until such time as they deem it no longer necessary. Is there anyone from Safety Clean to step up and represent? Please come forward and state your names and address for the record, please. If you just press the little red microphone at the bottom, the thing should, there you go, perfect.
Gotcha. My name is Drew Kratzberg, and I'm the Environmental Compliance Manager for the facility, and I'm actually from Seattle, Washington.
I'm Adrian Hastings. I'm an operation manager for the refining portion of Safety Clean. My residence is Wichita, Kansas.
Okay. Planning Director.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. Randy Hines for the record. So going through the conditions, it appears that all the conditions have been met except for number 8. That's all necessary building permits shall be obtained for installation of all proposed facilities. Ms. Reidenbach sent a letter. She's our building official, sent an email to staff of Safety Clean. There was some special inspection reports that were not received. And we just suggest that you guys get with Jera to get that stuff finalized so she can finalize. I think the building permit's actually been closed because there was no action, so we just need to get that taken care of. And then I do have a letter from a public letter that I'll read into the record. It's from Ms. Sherry Weidman at 13991 and 13993 Cadet Road in Fallon, Nevada 89406. Says, Planning Commissioners, in good conscience using your authority, please deny the permit for Safety Clean Systems until they remove the odors emitted from their facility, which settle along the Carson River. The odors that settle on the river are the same odors at their facility. Please visit the site to experience the odor yourselves. Some of the odors are from their main stack, and nothing has been done to contain the escaping chemicals. Also, please consider the many other complaints about Safety Clean odors made during the Redwood hearing. In addition, as additional evidence of the ongoing problem, please protect everyone in this area by making Safety Clean capture their current odors prior to allowing them to renew this permit. And with that, I can answer any questions.
Okay, gentlemen, you have anything to add to that or rebuttal to any of this?
So this year we've only had one odor complaint, and we've actually reached out to the complaint, and I believe all matters were settled and adjustments were made, but as far as we know, we've only had one odor dispute. So a reoccurring issue is news to us.
And anything with the outstanding requirements that there need to be made? Do you have anything to add on that?
We received notification of the inspections that are outstanding. We have passed that on to compliance, and we will work with them to get the required documents that they're deficient on.
If you could shut your microphone off, thank you. I'll open it up to the board for any questions or...
Mr. Chair, Joe Frey for the record. Question for planning staff. Does the special use permit in question, were the odors a condition of that special use permit?
Yeah, it's from the first permit long ago. This special use permit is for the expansion of that 330 or of your hydrogen. What is that?
The permit covers an increased throughput of processing used motor oil In addition, the special use permit also covers the addition of a steam methane reformer or SMR hydrogen generator on site.
So that's what this special, and it didn't have anything in there. It just, we just have the standard, operation shall be conducted in a manner that do not create nuisance, public or private, under Nevada law or Churchill County Code. So again, that's that catch-all. I don't think we've received any complaints, and maybe Miss LeBaron can comment on that. We have not received any complaints. This was just a letter that was received because it got, the neighbors got noticed.
Okay, thank you. That was, you just in my opinion, then the special use permit that we're working on really has nothing to do with anything, not to invalidate Mrs. Weidman's comments, but they should have no impact on whether we choose to review this special use permit or not, is the way I see it, I think.
Yeah, if I recall, I think it's every time we've come up this one, we've had that same letter.
Okay, thank you.
Staff feels confident that you guys can handle this in-house then, so that we don't have to keep continuing to revisit the remaining conditions that you're waiting upon.
Yes, the only condition is they just got to get the building permit closed out. So that could be something that they can work with Ms. Reidenbach on. And then any complaints, if we receive complaints in-house, we'll definitely reach out to you guys. Again, we haven't received any. So, it's kind of, we're just reading the letter that comes in when we send notices out, so.
Any other from the board? Okay. Any public comment? Okay, seeing none, I will entertain a motion.
I move to no longer require an annual review for this application.
Been moved and seconded that we end the annual review for the special use permit. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on. Item D, consideration of possible action regarding review of a special use permit SUP 1105 previously granted to Selena Housington on November 13th, 2024 for a home-based horse boarding operation. The property is located at 425 Bench Road, Assessor's Parcel Number 007-111-50. This is a follow-up on enacting this permit to ensure that compliance with all of the conditions for approval. Is there anyone here to represent the Housington special use permit? Is there anybody here? Seeing none, okay. Open it up to Director Hines.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. Randy Hines for the record. Again, we did a site visit. It appears that all conditions of this have been met. The only thing that has not been obtained is a business license. We've reached out to the applicant or the applicant and have had some correspondence with her, but we've never got a business license put into place. So that's kind of, if she's doing business there, doesn't have a business license. So other than that, everything else seems to be met. So.
I'll open up to the board. Go ahead.
According to the staff report, I thought no conditions had been met. Is that correct,
I
Lorelei?
don't think that one was in the
Yeah,
staff report.
this one did not have the staff report this year.
Okay.
That was from last year.
We didn't have a staff report for this one.
Okay, so county and state licenses have not been met.
That's correct.
Okay.
Vic Ansotigi for the record. Mr. Hines, do you recommend that we try to review this again, or do you think that it can be handled on your guys' end?
I think we probably, try to reach out to her again and see what she's doing. If you guys want to do it again, we can, we can table this for a month or two until we get correspondence with her and actually get her in here, to discuss that. But, again, we've had correspondence with her. I just don't think we've ever finalized the building permit. So, business license. So again, let us reach out to her. Maybe we table this for a month and then try to get her back in here next month, to see, or give you an update next month that, yeah, she's got her business license or so.
Okay. Anything else from the members? No. Seeing none, any public comment? Okay. Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I move to revisit this at the December meeting to give staff enough time to reach her again to see if her operating business that is operating is fully licensed and legal.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded that we table this until the December meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. All right, moving on. Item E, consideration and possible action regarding a request for an extension of the temporary use permit TUP 427 that was previously granted to Eric Madrigal on September 11th, 2024. The property is located at 8893 Helens Way. Assessor's parcel number 006-031-10. The applicant is requesting an extension for the temporary use permit for another year. We'll open this up to the building department staff. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry, sir. Can I get you to state your name and address for the record, please, because you are the representative. There you go.
My name is Eric Madrigal. My address is 8893 Helens Way.
Very good, thank you. Now, I will open it up.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. Randy Hines for the record. Again, this was one of the last TUPs that was presented to the Planning Commission last year. Since then, it's been, code has been revised to be an administrative function. At the last meeting last year, Mr. Madrigal had to applied for a TUP of a code enforcement case. He was living in an RV without a TUP, so he got his temporary use permit. During the discussion and reading through minutes, in the first year, he had to make substantial improvements or substantial completion to building a house. 3 of those items that were listed in the minutes last year was a driveway to be completed, financing in place for his new home, and then the foundation was in there as well, but it was part of the financing. So Mr. Madrigal, we had correspondence with him, throughout the year. He was working diligently on trying to get his financing through, I think it was Creekwood Homes. And again, that just, it fell through. So because he hasn't met that substantial completion, we just, it would have been denied. We would have denied it through the office. So we just put him on the meeting so you guys can. It was kind of a continuation from last year. So, but other than that, Mr. Madrigal can tell you where he sits today.
Okay, Mr. Madrigal, could you bring us up to speed, please?
Yeah, so I've been working on trying to get my my finance loan for building the home and getting all that done. But I've been doing it since July, and I have had no real, improvement onto getting approved for that loan. I've been having to downsize my floor planning and cut certain things off just to try and meet, the loan that I'm actually qualified for, which is only $200,000. And still I have a loan for the property that I have to transfer over for the construction loan. So I'm having a hard time trying to be approved for the loan and trying to find a proper house so I can get a decent home and get everything done and put onto the property. That's my problem at the moment. I'm actually going through different types of loan officers at the moment as well, and different manufactured contractors, or like manufactured homes, like Creekwood Homes or Clayton Homes and stuff like that, Champion. I've been trying to reach out to a lot of them to try and find something that I can actually afford. And that's where I'm kind of stuck. I just kind of need like another year or two to try and wait until the market is better and I could get a better APR to try and get a better loan and stuff like that where I can actually be approved.
Okay, members of the board, any questions?
Vic Ansotti for the record. Mr. Madrigal, the biggest issue we see with a lot of these bigger units where somebody's trying to build a mobile home or build a house is you living on there with your camp trailer or your RV. I believe Randy or Mr. Hines has said that you're able to show receipts and things like that for disposing of your waste. I mean, on the planning commission, we really want to try to avoid any illegal dumping or anything like that. Are you able to get your waste to an appropriate area without any issues? Has that been an issue?
No, that hasn't been an issue at all. Every Monday or Sunday, I actually transfer my waste to the Maverick or the what's that place where they do the rodeo, where it has all the horses and stuff like that. So I dump either there or at Maverick every Monday or Sunday. So that's kind of my routine, I guess you could say, on just dumping my waste and stuff like that.
And then, sir, with the financing, is this something that you do see you will be able to provide if we give you a year? I mean, we don't want to kick this can down the road and keep going and keep bringing you in here, and then 4 years down the road, deny it anyway. You know what I mean? We want to get you to a place where you're either going to build a home or you're going to, no longer go down this road. Do you see yourself getting financing within the next year if we approve it?
Definitely in the next year or two, for sure. Yeah.
Sir, I have a question in regards to questions pertaining to the driveway. So if you can't get financing, we understand that. What's along the other conditions that Randy Hines had mentioned?
The conditions was having a driveway paved out, or I guess just having a driveway done. So I have that done, and to the foundation, but that's part of the construction loan, which is part of the home loan.
And does his driveway meet your specs and approval?
I guess he had that substantially complete last time when he came in. It was just that that was listed that would be done, and I have not been out there to look at it, so we would we'd have to go out and look at that. But really, it's we'll go check it out. Yes.
Okay, go back to county code then. So county code apparently has changed. Following black and white code, what is your recommendations from here as far as how long he's already been on the property, living in the RV, and not progressed forward?
Yeah, so the way county code's written is to build a home, right? You have 3 years you can build a home in. Each year you have to show substantial completion. We spoke at the meeting, and it was in the minutes. It was stated that the driveway, the financing, and the foundation shall be in. That's not in. It doesn't show that he's made substantial completion. So he was informed that we would deny it if he applied for an extension.
So staff recommendation is complete denial at this point.
That is staff's recommendation.
Any other questions or comments on the board? I do have something to add here. So, and this is part of the problem with, and why we've gotten to this point now, why we're very stringent on this. What I hear you say is when the question was asked, will you have financing done in a year? You said, yeah, within a year or two. Well, we put a firm line on that at 1 year. Okay, and a year or two is not going to help us because that's exactly what we're talking about. It keeps kicking the can down the road. Hence is why we got away from these TUPs, because they just kept coming and coming and coming, and nobody was ever finishing them up. So, yeah, this county code is pretty stringent, but it doesn't force you to give up your property. All we're asking you to do is go live someplace until you can secure the financing and not live out there in a camp trailer, is basically what we're trying to do. And, I think it's the recommendations and the conditions that were put forth were pretty simple, and I think at that time you agreed to them, and we're supposed to be moving along from there.
Well, yeah, I'm literally in the process of trying to get the loan. Like, I've been doing it since July. So I've been talking to other loan officers just to try and get a loan to get a house built. Like, I don't want to live in my trailer forever. But I have no other place to go. I literally bought this property to live on my own and to be away from everybody. That's literally why I bought the property, because I have no other place to go. My family is not from the state, and yeah, so if you guys kick me off of the property, I'll be homeless basically. Again.
Any more from the board? Okay, seeing none, is there any public comment? Okay, seeing none, I'll open this up for a motion.
Mr. Chair, Joe Frey for the record. I move to deny the request for extension of the temporary use permit, number TUP 427.
I second.
Been moved and seconded that we deny the extension on the temporary use permit. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously 4-0. Thank you for stopping in. If I don't, this one shouldn't have the right to it.
Mr. Vice Chair, you can mention that he can appeal.
I was asking council. So you do have a 10-day right to appeal. So you can appeal this to the Board of County Commissioners as long as you get it done within 10 days. Okay?
And
talk to staff over here, they'll help you through.
They can reach to Pam, to the board clerk, to do that.
Yeah.
Pam Moore.
Pam Moore she's the board clerk over here at the county office. Sir, the motion was passed not to extend it, so you have a right to appeal, and if you choose to use that right to appeal, which I would recommend you do, please talk to Pam Moore at the Board of Commissioners Secretary. I don't think we're doing that, sir. What we're doing is we're denying a temporary use permit, which is temporary use permit. So we're not doing that. We're not kicking you off of your property. You have a mobile home that you're living in. That what we're saying is we want that mobile home or motor home or whatever it is, whatever we're talking about here, is no longer there until we start moving forward with construction. Okay. Okay, moving on to new business. Item A, Consideration and possible action regarding two parcel maps, PC 25-1, filed by Ronald L. and Pamela Giovanetti. The properties are located at 399 Sheckler Cutoff and 5967 Hooper Place. Assessor's parcel number 008-572-26 and 008-572-25. In the E1 zoning district, the applicant proposes a series of two parcel maps to create 4 lots. Is there anyone here to represent the applicant? Please come forward and give me your name and address, and for the record, please. Push that little turnip green there, Ron. There, right there, perfect. You did it. Good.
Ron Giovanetti, 5885 Hooper Place.
Thank you. Okay, and then when you're done, just press that back and it'll turn red.
What's that?
Press that thing again, it'll turn red.
The red light.
There you go. There you go, perfect. Yep. Yep. Okay, I'll open this up to, anytime you want to talk, turn it green. Anytime you're done talking, turn it off. Okay, I'm going to open this up to Director Hines or Planner Patterson. Yes.
Yeah, Dean Patterson, Public Works and Planning for the record. Yeah, before you, a project for two parcel maps to create 4 lots, one of which is a merger and re-subdivision. Pardon me. So for some background, the project has had difficulty in proceeding due to NRS complications related to the merger and re-subdivision process. This resulted in reconfiguring the project, splitting it into 2 maps. This is discussed in detail in the staff report if you're interested. The project has also had difficulty in proceeding due to sewer and water limitations on lot size. The applicant previously divided the 1-acre lots along Hooper Place around 1992, back when 1-acre lots were allowed. Most of the lots along Hooper Place are 1 acre. Around 20 years ago, the master plan and county code were changed to require lots less than 5 acres to have community sewer and water service, along with some exceptions. This is placed in the sewer and water master plan sections and code titles. Unfortunately, the E1 zoning district text was not updated, so people reading it may not understand all of the code limits that apply to their project. The county continually gets inquiries into developments proposing 1-acre lots, but they have not been allowed for a long time, except for instances of 1 to 2 acre cluster developments. These changes likely came about due to state requirements on sewer and water and wanting to prevent the state from imposing its own review and approval requirements. These are discussed more in the staff report. When the main property in this project came for sale, the applicant purchased it. The proposal is a request to continue to allow the 1-acre lot sizes similar to the 1992 development of the area. Staff raised the lot size issue, and the project has been postponed for a while. But after meeting with the director and discussing the problems, the applicant wishes to proceed with the proposal and see what happens. In the first parcel map you have on the screen there, the applicant proposes to create 2 lots from the 4.5 acre parcel on Sheckler Cutoff, creating a 1.2 acre house next to the river, and a large vacant remainder parcel. The second parcel map will remove, can you switch to the next parcel map, please? Thank you. Will merge the large remainder lot with the Hooper Place lot and create 3 lots, 2 of which will be 1 acre each, and the remainder will be 2 acres. If the 1 acre lots are allowed again, the remainder would probably be divided into 2 more 1 acre lots in the future. The staff report reviews the approval criteria. The main issue is CCC 16.04.050A1, conformity with the master plan. There's 2 policies relating to sewer and water. The water policy is PSF 1.14.1, and it reads, areas planned for urban or suburban development, being residential densities greater than 1 unit per 5 acres or comparable non-residential development, will be served by a community water supply system. And then policy, the sewer policy is PSF 2.2.6, and it reads, if a new land division development proposes the use of on-site sewage treatment and disposal systems on lot sizes of less than 1 unit per 5 acres or smaller, the proposal shall not be approved unless it qualifies for one of the following exceptions. It goes on, and one of the listed exceptions is for infill development. While code does not yet have the exceptions for specifics, the project could be considered to be infill development, so lots can be less than 5 acres. Staff recommends that the site can be considered infill development, but that does not mean all situations should allow 1 acre lots. Staff recommends that since 1 acre lots cause the overuse of septics and wells and the change to county code, a more appropriate size would be larger, 2 acres or more. Staff recommends that the application does not conform with the master plan. A related criteria is number 3, relating to public health, safety, and general welfare, with the main concern being that continuing 1 acre lots may contribute to degradation of water quality and supply. Another related criteria is number 4, that adequate public facilities and services are available to the development, with the main point that the master plan indicates that new lots under 5 acres should be served by community water and sewer. So based on these points, staff recommends denial. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. Ron, if you got some rebuttal and comments, please. There you go. Yep.
Well, it's kind of hard to answer all that shit. That's all I got to say. You know, I bought this property. Been empty for 30 years. That field's nothing been done to it. It's water-righted. I bought the other 30 acres next to it back in the 80s, and this piece was already sold off. So I was finally able to obtain it. And people have asked me for years, how come I don't do nothing with my field? Why is it such a shithole out there? Well, it didn't belong to me.
Sir.
So now I bought it.
Please
Put a pasture in here.
be careful with the language next.
So
Thank you.
So anyway, I planted a pasture. The house hadn't been living in 12 years. I rebuilt the house, cleaned it up. It was a mess over there, and made a rental out of it. And my original intention when I bought it was just to clean the house up and parcel it off with an acre and sell that off and turn the field into a pasture, which I've done. And so I went to parcel the acre off with the house, and of course Loomis charges the same for 4 lots as they do for 1. So I thought, well, cut it into 4 lots. It's gonna be a will to my kids in the hopes that my grandkids maybe can build a house on these lots someday. As long as I'm alive, it's gonna be a pasture. It's gonna be just like it is right now. I just got through planting the field and putting a pump in and a wheel line, and I'm in the process of putting all the piping underground. So I have no intention of selling any of it. It's to be left to my kids. I mean, it's E1, zone 1 acre, just like all the lots on Hooper Place and on Phelps and on River's Edge, and so I don't understand how, if it's zone 1 acre, you can't cut 1 acre lots. I mean, I've been around a long time in this valley, and I don't know. I went to Randy, had a meeting with him a couple months ago, and told him what we wanted to do. He said if it was him, he would propose this map you got on there right there, showed him what we're going to do, and he said that that's what he would do if it was him. So with his recommendation, there it is, and then we got a guy over here that says deny it. So you know what? You guys do what you got to do. I don't really give a rat's ass at this point. So do what you got to do.
Okay, so
I'm done.
all right, we're gonna ask you some questions, and so if you don't mind just sitting tight there a little bit, and I'm gonna open it up to the board, and I'm sure there's gonna be some questions that come across, and let's see if we can move forward from here.
Hi, Ron.
Hi.
I have a couple questions. I understand what you're trying to do. On the 2 parcels that are south of Hooper, and then you have the remaining large third one. What do you plan on doing with that remaining large third one?
Will it to my kids, just like it is. I'm not gonna, you'll never see me here again.
So I just have a couple questions just to try to help you in this. So with those 2 large parcels, so that you don't, one, you can't do this again, like, you can't break up the parcels and just keep breaking up the parcels. So if the board were to accept a proposed map and those lots were made longer, because we would be doing an exception to the rule, it's black and white and it's code and they're wanting a denial. But if you were to make those 2 lots longer and then a third lot on the other one where you're only dividing this one more time and done, and you're not leaving odd-shaped pieces out there that somebody might want to break up again.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, if I had it to do over again, it wouldn't be like this, you know.
Yes,
I mean,
but if you
I don't have a
could,
problem with making two acre parcels and an acre and a half of the house. I don't have a problem with that.
Okay.
Be done with the whole thing. That's,
so you have 2 loopholes that help you out. One would be the infill that he's talking about, and the other one being that it's still zoned E1. So I direct this back to the director and the planner. If he were to take this parcel map here that you're seeing, because he's having to do 2 parcel maps, I understand the first one. The second one, if he was to make those 2 parcels on the left longer and eat up all of that frontage to the remaining parcel that he just parceled off as parcel 1 in the map previous, and then took the third parcel over there that's kind of in a T shape right now and made that another one, it would be an infill where it's actually attached to his subdivision he did north. Does that make sense? Is that something that you could see an exception for, to take the parcels into, okay, one map to break it into the 2, and then you're breaking this one into 3 and you're done? You wouldn't do it again. Is that something considered for the E1 zoning and for the infill?
I guess it would be better than what we have now, but I don't know what the parcel areas would come out to be. So I guess that's an option we could explore.
Okay, so I'm sorry, guys, I'm going to jump in. Hopefully I'm not interrupting anybody here. So as the map, as I'm reading it right there, that map, it does have that strange shaped lot in there, but we do have it broke into 3 1-acre parcels. Am I correct there with that? I mean, we have 2 right there, and then the third one, even though it's weird shaped, is a little over an acre? Is that, I can't read that. That's why I'm asking that question. Is that correct?
It's roughly 1 acre, and then the T-shaped lot is 2 acres.
It's 2 acres, okay. So I guess as I'm looking at this right here, this would cover the infill. That's a 2-acre lot. That lot would not be, that lot could not be developed anymore or divided anymore. But I can't see any reason to go change the map just because we got this weird shaped parcel. If you're going to leave it to your kids or whatever, that weird shaped parcel is going to be up to them to try to figure out. But I guess what I'm saying is he's got it in 2 1-acres and then a 2-acre.
I understand.
And then we would not, he could not divide that ever again. That 2
That's what
acre.
I'm saying, is if you get one shot at this, why not?
well, I couldn't divide it if I wanted to, because I don't have legal access to the Sheckler Road. So you couldn't, I couldn't anyway.
Well, you could come off of Hooper though.
Yeah, but not, you could get
Right.
two lots, though. You couldn't get 2 lots and come off.
No,
of
no,
it.
right, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead. Back up to staff, or not staff, board members, please.
To make this look like this came off of his original subdivision was what I was trying to do, because that T-shaped property there is a very odd-shaped property. So if you split this into 3 parcels that follow the E1 and also do the infill to make it look like we finished it from the subdivision you started in the 80s or 90s, that was my question, and that was my, do you understand what I'm trying to propose?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Mr. Chair, Joe Frey, for the record, my question would be for planning staff. What is the definition of infill? Or something close? I mean, I've got something in my head, but
Yeah, so essentially it would be, it's easily described, right? If you have a big parcel, a big 40-acre parcel, and there's 1-acre parcels all the way around it, that would be considered an infill if you want to do something with that, right? Or if you had a 10-acre parcel or something. And that's when I met with the Giovanettis, that's what we talked about. We said, yeah, you don't meet it because it's less than 5 acres, right? We were proposing 1 acre, but it could be considered an infill because it's an extension of this project that was done back in the 90s or in the early, whenever it was done, right? And that's really the only thing that it would meet would be that infill. We can't make that choice. You guys have to make that choice. So that's why, and I had mentioned to them when we met, we would probably, request or we would recommend denial because it doesn't meet the code, but it does have that exception of the infill, and this would be an exception of infill because it's carrying over that same concept that was for the rest of that development.
Thank you. Yeah, that's kind of what I had in mind, and this looks to me like a complete extension of what Mr. Giovanetti has done in the past, and it kind of completes the subdivision in my mind. So I think it qualifies for infill.
Okay, it looks like, and just a quick little comment here. This E1 is, we got to get that cleaned up pretty rapidly here because this becomes a big problem. And I started doing some looking around, and there's a lot of E1 properties out there. Luckily for us, in this case, I would agree with Member Frey, is that I think it really does fit the infill, which some of the others don't have that exception. But again, I think it just opens us up for all kinds of problems when we have these E1 properties out there that people are buying with an E1 zoning and then they can't develop them.
That is correct. And again, stay tuned because we're going to have some more code changes coming. So definitely be cleaning that up so it's more clear and have clarity in our code.
Okay, looks like the members have asked all their questions. Any public comment? Seeing none, I'll open this up to a motion from the board.
Mr. Vice Chair, Vic Ansotigi for the record. Sir, just so you know, this is just a recommendation to the board. You'll still have to go in front of them and tell them the same thing, the Board of County Commissioners. Based on the information provided in the application in the staff report and heard tonight, I move to find that the criteria found in Churchill County Code 16.04.040C and Churchill County Code 16.04.050A have been met for the parcel map application, and therefore recommend that the Board of County Commissioners approve the parcel map for Ronald and Paula Giovanetti to divide APN 008-572-26 and APN 008-572-25 into 4 lots.
I second.
Mr. Chair, or Vice Chair, because the staff report was recommending denial, it did not have a recommendation for approval in it. So the recommendation, again, is to the board, but you also need to recommend that they accept the offers to grant easements and reject offers to dedicate lands and improvements. That's a NRS requirement. You'll see that in.
Do we need to?
In one of the other.
Do we need to amend this motion?
Mr. Chair, I can move to amend the motion if you'd like. Mr. Chair, Joe Frey for the record. I move to amend the motion to include the language that Planner Patterson just recommended.
Okay, so I do believe we need to vote on the amendment first, and then after that, we'll vote on the motion. So the amendment is been moved and seconded that we add the language that that Planner Patterson had added or recommended we add to the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? That motion carries unanimously 4-0. Now we'll move on to the motion to approve the maps or recommendation to approve the maps to the Board of County Commissioners. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Same sign. Motion carries unanimously 4-0. Thank you, Mr. you have any, you'll be before the Board of County Commissioners. You basically have to state the same thing again, but our recommendation is to approve the maps as you
I
presented.
apologize for my language. You get a little,
It's all right.
been
Getting a
almost-
little emotional, we
it's
understand.
been almost 3 years since we started this, so.
Yeah, here we are. Okay.
Okay,
Thank you. Have a good night. All right. Item B, consideration of possible action regarding a reversion to acreage application, PC 25-10, filed by Amber Hood. The properties are located at 642 and 660 Peaceful Way, Assessor's Parcel Number 008-391-48 and 008-391-49. The application proposes to merge two lots into one. And we have, if you guys could please state your name and address for the record, please.
Austin Hood, 1370 Golden Park Way.
Amber Hood, 1370 Golden Parkway.
Thank you. Okay, who's taking this one?
Yeah.
Flying technician? Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair. The applicant is requesting to combine two parcels of land, owned by the applicant into one lot. What they're doing basically is removing that middle line and just merging the two lots to form one. Staff reviewed the request, but the criteria approved. Generally, no issue was raised in the review of the map application. The lot merger will not change any existing condition. Neither does it create any future problem. With that, staff recommends approval with conditions as provided in the staff report.
Anything that you folks would like to add? Okay, seeing none, members of the board, any questions?
Mr. and Mrs. Hood, you guys are familiar and have read and approve everything that's in the staff report and everything for the recommendations?
Seeing none, any public comment? Seeing none there, I'll open the board up to a motion, please.
Tammy Edgman, for the record, based on the information provided in this application and the staff report and also heard tonight, I move to find that the criteria found in CCC 16.04.040C and CCC 16.04050A have been met for the reversion to acreage application, and therefore recommend that the Board of County Commissioners approve this reversion to acreage map for Austin and Amber Hood to merge APN 008-39149 and APN 008-39148 into one lot.
Okay. Been moved and seconded that we approve the merger of the two lots. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to item C. This item has been postponed till the next, to our next board meeting in December. Is that correct, Diane? Or in a future meeting, is that correct? Okay, yes. Okay, so that, we're moving on. We will move on to item D. Item D is consideration and possible action regarding a parcel map application PC 25-12 filed by McCasey. The property is located on Trinell Lane, Assessor's Parcel Number 007-121-09, consisting of 80.05 acres in the A10 zoning district. The applicant proposes to split the parcel into 4 lots that will be more than 20 acres each. Anyone here to represent the applicant? If you gentlemen come up and state your name and address for the record, please. You got it.
Mick Casey, what's my address? 399 Reagan Place, Fallon, Nevada.
Steve Bell, Bell Land Surveying.
Very good. Okay, open this up to, looks like Planner Patterson.
Thank you. Dean Patterson, Public Works and Planning for the record. So the applicant proposes to divide an 80-acre parcel into 4 lots of approximately 20 acres each. The staff report reviews the approval criteria, discusses 3 main issues for this project. The first is lot size and width. The A10 zone has a 10-acre minimum and a minimum, which is met, and the minimum lot width of 300 feet, which is met. The difficulty is that the lots are a little over 300 feet wide and half a mile long, resulting in a length to width ratio of over 8 to 1. That's a very long, skinny lot. Staff report discusses problems this causes, and similar proposals have been denied in the past, but it also points out in this case that this case has very large lot sizes and provisions for road easements to allow splitting the lots in the future. You can see that the north-south line midway through the lots is a road easement, and there will be another road easement connecting to it from Trento Lane, so that would allow these lots to be split in the future. This makes long lots less of an issue than they have been in other situations. Another issue, do we have the air photo, Diane or Lorelei? Yeah. Another issue is water channel protection. County code requires the protection of water channels using easements. The staff report discusses the situation in more detail, but the issue is that the Pearl Slough, which runs along where the cursor's running, runs through the west half of the property. TCID has historically used it in flood years to send water to Mustang Pond, which is to the north, most recently in 2017 and 2021. TCID now indicates that it does not plan to use the slough in the future now that they have the new flood weirs installed to release flood waters. So no easement is needed on this map in this case. The main issue is the land division road standards. All 4 lots front on Trento Lane, which is a privately maintained dirt and gravel road that is not constructed to any standard. This road is required to be maintained by a sand mine operating north of the site, so it has had some improvements. The county code requires that lots over 20 acres must be served by a county standard gravel road. This part of Trento Lane is not county gravel standard, so it needs to be upgraded, reaching southward to where the county begins maintenance of Trento Lane. It may need minimal improvements in some locations and more in others. Notes about these improvements are also needed on the map, and these items are included in the conditions. Notice is not required for parcel maps, so that did not take place. Staff recommends approval with recommended conditions.
Thank you. Gentlemen, anything to add?
Nothing to say unless you have a question.
You good? Okay. I will open it up to the board. Yep.
No, I just,
We better turn them off when we're not talking. That's a good idea. They do. Okay, so I'll open this up to the board. Any questions?
Mr. Casey, is it your intention to divide these into 10-acre parcels for the purpose of putting in the easements right in the middle of all the parcels?
no.
What was your purpose in putting road easements on both sides of the property? Just off the recommendation, not off of division?
So, Dean Patterson for the record. So just FYI, the mid-length north-south easement for roads, if you can point, yeah, thank you. That easement exists already. This map does not look like the one that we have currently, but the current map shows another easement reaching between that north-south easement and Trento Lane. And so it would allow access in the future if some future owner wanted to divide the property and create 10-acre lots instead of what they have now would be 20-acre lots.
Any other questions, concerns, thoughts? Nope. Okay, any public comment? Seeing none, I'll open this up to the board for motion.
Mr. Chair, Joe Frey for the record. Based on the information provided in the application, in the staff report, and heard tonight, I move to find that the criteria found in CCC 16.04.040C and CCC 16.04.050A have been met for the parcel map application PC 25-12, and therefore recommend that the Board of County Commissioners, A, approve the parcel map for the Casey Family Trust to divide APN 007-121-09 into 4 lots. This approval is subject to the conditions as listed in the staff report. Item B, accept the offer to grant easements identified on the maps, and C, reject offers to dedicate land improvements.
I apologize. It's been moved and seconded that we approve as stated in the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously, 4-0. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, Dean Patterson for the record. So items E and F are both for the same project, and so we'd like to hear them both at the same time. They're handled together.
Also, excuse me just a second.
Sure.
Director, Mr. Casey, just so you know, this is a recommendation to Board of County Commissioners. You will have to, okay, very good. No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I forgot to.
That's okay. So I just wanted to point out that they're both covered under a single staff report in your packet. So if we can just do both E and F together, that's all we're asking.
Okay.
So does he need to read item F as well?
Yes, I'll read both of them into the record. Okay, moving on. Item E, consideration and possible action regarding a parcel map application PC 25-13 filed by Bart Hyatt. The property is located on Boundary Road, assessor's parcel number 009071-27, consisting of 66.54 acres in the A10 zoning district. This parcel map will implement a previously approved tentative parceling plan. The applicant proposes to create 3 lots and a remaining lot that will be divided further by a subsequent parcel map. Item F, consideration and possible action regarding a parcel map application PC 25-14 filed by Bart Hyatt. The property is located on Boundary Road, assessor's parcel number 009-71-071-27, consisting of the remainder of the 33.25 acres in the A10 zoning district. This parcel map will implement a previously approved tentative parceling plan. The applicant proposes to divide the parcel into 3 lots. Okay, anyone here to represent the applicant?
Mr. Vice Chair, Vic Ansodigi for the record. I'll need to recuse myself from this one.
David Crook with Loomis and
How are we gonna
Associates
do this?
to represent.
Hang on, just, we won't have a quorum. Yeah. Yeah. So based on that then, we won't have a quorum. I think we're going to have to move this particular agenda item to a further meeting. Pardon me? Yeah, we will not have a quorum. And we just can't do an official vote on that. I apologize.
I thought that in the past we've done it, but I mean, Mr. Mills.
Well, we were just.
I thought because we have a quorum, but.
Yeah, my
I guess
vote
we
just
don't have
doesn't count.
We just don't have a quorum on the vote. Okay. Okay. I could be misunderstood too.
Zach is sick and Mark is in Idaho, so no.
Unfortunately, we're going to have to kick these agenda items down. I apologize. It's kind of where we're at right now. If we did something, probably would be legally not binding. So we're better off kicking this to the next meeting.
See you next month.
Thank you. We apologize.
Apologies, sorry, sir.
Okay, so those are going to have to move. I want to make a note here. All right, well, we are now moving on to item G, consideration of possible action regarding a variance application, VAR 25-13, filed by Joshua Scherer. The property is located at 4705 St. Clair Road, assessor's parcel number 006-271-05, consisting of 8.6 acres in the A5 zoning district. The applicant proposes a variance from the setback requirements for an addition to a pre-existing residence within the setback. If you could please state your name and address for the record.
Josh Shear, 4705 St. Clair.
It's on.
Josh Shear, 4705 St. Clair Road.
There you go. Might have to pull that microphone to you. You can do that. There you go. Okay, turn this over to Planner Pedersen.
Thank you. Dean Patterson, Public Works and Planning, for the record. This variance request came in after the building department observed foundation work in front of the existing home and located close to the road. There are column footings which appear to be for an additional porch that would be outside the building envelope and almost at the road easement. The construction was stopped, prompting the variance request. The applicant proposes to add a room to the front of an existing building that was built in 1949, predating the code. This addition will fill in a corner in a T-shaped building and will not extend further than the existing house toward the road. Can you provide the next picture, please, too? Thank you. And the little red box is the infill spot where it's part of the building is being extended to match the rest of the building. So the road easement is measured 30 feet from the center of St. Clair Road. The setback would be another 60 feet from the easement. Currently, the existing building is 10 feet from the easement, and it is grandfathered from old laws. The variance will allow the addition to be the same as the existing house, but not extend closer to the road. The staff report reviewed the approval criteria. There's an obvious hardship and special circumstances in this case, so it's a pretty straightforward request. The only issue of note is making sure that the foundation concrete for the porch posts be removed, which is a recommended condition of approval. Notice was sent to neighbors and agencies. No neighbor comments were received. The building department notes that appropriate permits are required, and the road department does not object to the request as long as it will match the existing house setback. Staff recommends approval with conditions. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Yes, sir. You have anything to add to that, or?
Not at this time.
All right, I'll open up to the board.
Sir, Mr. Sheriff, Vic Ansotigi for the record. I just want to, this is kind of just like a reminder. I believe this was found during an inspection, and you guys were going to kind of proceed with this porch extension without the variance. I just want to kind of remind you to get a variance for anything like this in the future, and let us know if there's any changes.
We will.
Any public comment? Okay, seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Vic Ansodi for the record. Based on the information provided in the application, sorry, I'm in the wrong spot. Based on the information provided in the application in the staff report and heard tonight, I move to find that the criteria found in Churchill County Code 16.08.090F have been met and therefore approve the variance VAR 25-13 to add the new room to the existing house for Joshua Scherer at 4075 St. Clair Road, APN 006-271-05. This approval is subject to the conditions as listed in the staff report.
Second.
Okay, been moved and seconded that we approve the variance as submitted. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously 4-0. Okay, thank you very much. Moving on. Where are we at here? Item H, consideration and possible action regarding a special use permit application SUP 25-37 filed by IRG Realty Advisors LLC for Port of Nevada. Property is located at 17127 Inland Port Drive, Assessor's Parcel Number 009-251-77, consisting of 105.61 acres in the Industrial Zoning District. The applicant is requesting the Phase 3 rail expansion. Thank you. Can you state your name and address for the record, please?
Sure. Tara Anderson, 17127 Inland Port Drive, Fernley, Nevada.
Thank you.
Dean? Thank you. Dean Patterson, Public Works and Planning for the record. So the Port of Nevada's expansion plans have come before you a few times recently for different phases. This application is for Phase 3, which includes rail spur and transloading expansion, mostly across the main driveway. The site plan, which is showing there, see if I can get this to work. No, oh, yeah, well, I don't think it's going to stay on. So the site plan shows the improvements in detail. The track expansion will begin east of the existing driveway. Two groups of rail spurs, that's the red lines. Yeah, where the cursor's showing, thank you. Will extend west across the existing driveway. Each group will have several spurs surrounded by a transloading area. The existing driveway will be rerouted eastward around the Phase 3 rail expansion across the tracks and connecting to the office. A weigh scale is shown near the main gate and support facilities are also proposed. Notices were sent out. A comment letter from NDOT was received with boilerplate comments. The applicant is already working with NDOT and mostly just needs to check in regarding the rail changes. There are related recommended conditions. The sheriff did not provide any comments on the project. The applicant has been consulting with the fire marshal regarding fire issues, and the expansion will need approval from the state fire marshal. The staff report reviewed the approval criteria. No major or minor issues were raised. However, there are allowances covered in the conditions that provide, and these are kind of special conditions we've added, that provide 5 years for getting the improvements done and allowing the director to approve minor location changes from what is shown on the site plan so that they don't have to keep coming in for some minor change. Otherwise, typical conditions are recommended. Staff recommends approval, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Dean. Open the floor to you, ma'am.
Very simply, we're roughly adding about 13,000 linear feet of rail to our operation. The scope of work that we've brought before you is very consistent with our existing rail and transloading operation. This isn't an addition or a departure from what we're already doing on site, but rail expansion by its nature requires an SUP, but we're just adding linear feet of track to grow our transloading operation.
Thank you. Board. Okay. The board is happy with it. Is there any public comment? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion. Yes, please.
Just because we've been before you before, I thought you'd be happy to know that our other SUP and our landscaping work that we promised you is well underway and being finished on site. So we have not forgotten about our other conditions on other existing SUPs. So
Thank you.
it'll be beautiful out there here in a minute.
Well,
So-
and again, I keep throwing the feather at it, but this is a project that I think this board struggled with, especially in the beginning, and we're very, very happy with the way it's progressing. It looks, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Tammy Edgman, for the record, based on the information provided in this application and the staff report and heard tonight, I move that the findings have been met for conformance with the criteria found in CCC 16.08.080H, and therefore approve the application for a special use permit for Port of Nevada for rail-based services on 17127 Inland Port Drive, assessor's parcel number 009-25177. This approval is subject to all conditions as listed in the staff report.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the special use permit for the rail. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0, 4-0. So unanimous vote again. Diane, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Continue on. Okay, moving on. Item I, consideration and possible action regarding a special use permit SUP 25-38 filed by John Bateman for Tractor Supply Company. The property is located at 11 River Village Drive, assessor's parcel number 008-421-05, consisting of 4.83 acres in the C1 zoning district. The applicant proposes a retail development for Tractor Supply Company. Thank you. If you guys could please state your name and address for the record, please.
Yes, sir. This is JT Shelton. My residence is 5503 110th Street, Lubbock, Texas, 79424.
Thank you. Yeah, first, there you go.
My name is Mitchell Monin, Burkhardt Engineering. Residence is 4491 Valley Brook Drive, Englewood, Ohio.
Thank you. Right?
Thank you. Dean Patterson, Public Works and Planning, for the record. The application is to allow for construction of a tractor supply store of approximately 22,000 square feet of inside sales space, various outside display areas, mainly for equipment, and a fenced outside product storage area of approximately 20,000 square feet. Outside display includes truck accessories, trailers, etc., that are placed outside of the fenced area and facing the Reno Highway. The outside display area triggers the special use permit. Notices were sent out. A comment letter from NDOT was received. It provides boilerplate comments, and it points out that signage fronting the highway will need NDOT review and approval. So if you guys can put that in your checklist, something to follow up on, I'd appreciate it. These matters are included in recommended conditions of approval. The staff report reviews the approval criteria. There are just a few items of note. Regarding compatibility, the uses allowed in the zoning district, and the project provides friction zone buffer features, including an 8-foot block wall along the south side to mitigate noise and light impacts. In addition, the store is 120 feet from the nearest residential property and nearly 300 feet from the nearest home. There is outside storage of bulk materials in the enclosed yard, but it will be screened. Landscaping is provided around the entire property. The site accesses onto River Village Drive and will provide improvements required by the road department, including paved access aprons leading to paved parking lots and drives around the building. The main item of note is that the existing billboard on the property, which is in the northeast corner, already consumes all of the allowed signage for the property. Multiple large billboards have been proposed for the site, but all have been denied. Only when greatly reduced in size have they been approved, and that was the situation for the one that's there now. Staff report discusses the history and problems in detail. There are two main options to deal with the matter. Remove the billboard so the store can use its allowed sign area. This will result in costs for compensation to cancel the billboard lease, or obtain a variance from the Planning Commission, that would be at a later date, to essentially double the allowed signage for the site. In discussion with the current owner, they plan to apply for a variance. So with that, staff recommends approval, and I'd be happy to answer questions.
Thank you. Gentlemen.
Yeah, so we do have as far as the signage goes, there were two options. Right now, our contract with the current owner, it's in our contract that they will remove the billboard and the lease before we go. So we're hopeful we don't have to go for a variance and that they'll follow through on that contractually. But the plan was from inception was to have the billboard removed so that the Tractor Supply signage could go forward. We did provide kind of like just a presentation if there was any questions about Tractor Supply or the outdoor sales area. I'm with VIA Real Estate. We're the preferred developer for Tractor Supply. We're here on behalf of Tractor Supply. You can go to the next slide. You're okay. Mitchell Monin here is with Burkhardt Engineering. They're our civil firm, representing us and putting our civil plans together. This was just some information about VIA, who we are, and why we're here. This is the contact information for our civil firm if there's any questions related to that. Just another slide showing the project, the zoning. You can go to the next one. This, again, our site plan. Burkhardt does a good job outlining our details. Everything will be up to code. As they mentioned before, Tractor Supply is very passionate about neighbors, and they want to be a good neighbor for life out here. And so we've already planned for putting up a screening wall so that, like I said, the nearest neighbor's over 100 feet away from us, but we're going to screen the back so that it's not just a big building right there in their backyard. Just some landscaping as well. This is our landscape plan to show also some of those landscape buffers and attempts to try to shade the business from anybody behind us. Given just kind of a color rendering showing the front of the store and the FOD area, we have it shown to screen it so that things that are inside the FOD are screened from public view. Again, just another shot. And I think that might just be the last one of the back of the store and the aerial. And I kind of put some comparisons here to show you like the specific areas where those outdoor displays would be. Along the trailer display area is where you see kind of those utility trailers that they have. They park them nice and neat there. Nothing too crazy. That's the sidewalk display area, just showing you some of the product they have out there, like lawnmowers, feed, and things of that nature. And then this is inside the FOD area, just showing you some more of that product and how they lay it out. It's very nice, neat, and orderly. Allows for clean pass-through for the clients when they're unloading and loading. Tractor Supply's got roughly 2,300 stores in 49 states. Planning to do, I think, 100 next year. They're a Fortune 500 company. They are doing quite well for themselves. They're one of the largest farm rural lifestyle retailers in the U.S. right now. This is just some general information about the stores, their company, and their merchandise. I believe the mission and values are important when we're going into communities, just to show them that how they value their people, their customers, their team, and their communities. Some of the highlights that we just wanted to show is how Tractor, when they come into a community, they're not just here to be a business and sell. They really do join the community. They support local FFA, 4-H, county fairs. They, like I said before, they want to be a good neighbor. And that was all I had for that presentation. So.
Thank you. Board members.
I do have a couple questions that have been brought to my attention by neighbors. So I would like to get it on record, for one, is why I'm mentioning it. And two, I've already spoke with staff report and staff regarding this. So the answers are out there. I have been with you entering a subdivision over there off of River Village, and your entrances are actually coming off of River Village. The question was, if they want commercial property, why don't they use the Reno Highway as their entrance and exit? That is the biggest question that a lot of people have. With that said, Dean, you want to let them speak on that, or do you want to answer that?
I'm paying him to be here.
Ideally, we would, excuse me. Ideally, we would like to take access off of the highway. NDOT prefers that anytime there is a side road, to always take that access for any sort of stacking that may back up as a result of the development. So they wouldn't want us taking another access point off of theirs. Also, along our frontage, I know it's not shown on the site plans, but there are several easements and everything else that we would be crossing for that access. So NDOT would always direct you to use River Village Drive or any subsequent drive that is adjacent to the highway. And we also got staff recommendations to take our access off of River Village Drive as well.
Ms. Edgman, Randy Hines for the record. Again, NDOT has separation requirements for new approaches. This is 55 miles an hour, I think. When you look at their requirements, I think you're looking at probably like 1,200 feet from approach to approach. Again, you don't even meet that from one side of River Village Drive to the other side of River Village Drive. So even if they did go to NDOT, they just wouldn't meet the separations anyway that are in there. So that's probably why they would recommend coming off River Village Drive.
Second question that's been brought to my attention by residents in that area, but I think it can be rectified by the fact that on the other side of Big R, there's an actual exit. So if this does end up getting backed up by public traffic coming in and out of there and that stop sign gets overwhelmed, at that point, they have the option, the subdivision has the option to utilize the other exit. Correct?
Yes, the subdivision has 2 entrances and exits.
Board, anything else? Staff, anything to add? Gentlemen, anything to add? Public comment, please. I guess we're going to use this table as our public comment table. Please come up, state your name. You'll press the red microphone down below. It'll turn green and go. Okay, good. Just
Are you
making sure.
limiting it to 3 minutes?
Yeah.
This is not my first rodeo. Paul Loop, 151 River Village Drive. Couple of things. I did have the opportunity to meet with Randy and discuss several issues that I saw coming off of this plan. And Randy did a fantastic job explaining the application to me and how this application was submitted. Obviously, the first concern I have, which wasn't discussed with Randy and I, was the property distance. Whose property were you measuring?
Sir, can you please direct all comments to the board, please?
Okay,
Yes.
sorry. I'm just curious to know which property they were measuring off of. The nearest residence. Because they said it was 100 and something feet to the nearest residence from the business.
Hang on just a second.
Did you want me to answer that now?
Yeah,
or later?
you know what, let's go ahead and pause the clock and go ahead and answer that one, Dean, because.
Okay, so it's about 120 feet from the building to the south property line, and then another 165 or 170 feet from one property, on the south property line that abuts a vacant residential lot, and that lot is about 170 feet wide.
Okay.
Okay, so
Does that answer your question?
I do believe
So
he
we can
answered
go ahead
the
and start the
question.
clock again then, Diane.
So the question is answered that it's taken from the property directly north of my property. Okay, so that would answer that question. I think the only real concern that as a resident there in that area is going to be the traffic issue. And although they do indicate that Deer Creek Circle isn't alternate way out, I don't feel that I should have to be forced to drive an extra distance to leave my property in order to get back onto the Reno Highway. I believe that if the information is correct about what NDOT is doing, I understand that concern, but I do know that the roadway as constructed is already starting to break apart. And you put 40,000 tons, 60,000 tons of equipment on that road, it's going to tear that road up. So the county will have to address that issue as far as how to address that issue, because I went out there and measured all the cracks from the start of the property line to the end of their property line. I believe I counted 12 cracks in the roadway already. Some of those have already been resealed previously and are gapping again already. So that'll be an issue for the county to discuss at a later date if they approve this application. Obviously, you know, it is an application. You guys and the county commissioners can make that final decision on where this goes. But, you know, I've never been against expanding our county and bringing in business, but at the same time, I think it needs to be addressed that the residents in that back area are going to be affected. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Thank you. State your name and thank you.
Hi, my name,
You're good, yep.
my name is Rita Murphy. I live at 170 River Village Drive. I look at that property every day out my windows, and I walk my dog by there. And the traffic that comes in there, the delivery trucks and stuff like UPS and stuff like that, they drive very fast in such a short way. And these trucks here will take and go turn down River Village and go down almost to the curve there, which it is a dangerous curve, and they'll go back in there and unload. Now, I had to go out of town, and I visited 3 tractor supply places, one in Fort Mojave, and it was the dirtiest store I ever saw in my life. And it was the people were rude, and the one in Carson City, it's dirty, and I talked to some of the neighbors that lived behind the tractor supply place. They weren't in favor of it, and now they have to live with these guys as neighbors, and they don't. And you can go ask these people that they wish they would have never put that one in Carson City. And it is dirty. And they went in, and they say they're for farm people, you know, in farming commission areas. Well, they go in to run little businesses out. We have Big R, we have Louis, we have other tractor places and stuff. And, you know, we have the new Walmart. They spend a lot of money at Walmart making it to where all of us live and have better stuff. These guys come in, and I went in the stores, and they're not for the people. And you guys have rude people. And I mean, I have talked to my son, and my son went to the one in Fernley, and he had to wait 20 minutes just to have somebody help him. And I'm not kidding. You guys go out. And if I don't really want a tractor supply place in my backyard, and all those lights, I like to go out and sit on my front porch and look at the stars at night, watch the airplanes come in that go over to the air base, to the Navy base over there. And it's beautiful. And we have some LED lights, which the neighbors are really want Big R to lower them down, so we do have a dark sky at night. And I looked at that thing, and I saw all these lights that are going in. Would you want them in your backyard if you wanted to go out and look at the stars at night? Walk your dog at midnight in the dark. It's beautiful.
Time's up.
Time. Thank
Okay.
you, ma'am.
I've spoke
We
my
appreciate
piece.
your comments. Thank you very much. Any other public comment? Okay. Gentlemen, you've heard the public comment. Is there any rebuttal to any of that from you guys? Go ahead.
Yeah, obviously from an engineering perspective, I'll address the lighting situation. We are accommodating lights. I do have several cut sheets here of the lights that are being used. All are downward lighting, no upward lighting. We are following the night sky ordinance. It's more of an architectural issue that the architect will be submitting for all of their cut sheets and have it in their plans. We also have the 8-foot screening wall to the south of the property for any other light pollution that would evade off of the property. This is the back of the store that will be facing the residents. So there are just a couple of wall sconces on the back. Most of the lighting will be up front. There is lighting around the site with light poles, but all with downward lighting shown in the cut sheets. And there is also, on the landscape plan, we do have, with the friction zone, abiding with the landscaping buffers along the southern portion and both roadways for lighting. And I'll have JT speak on at least the employee portion of it.
So, as I stated before, I'm with VA Real Estate. I'm the preferred developer. I really couldn't speak to operations. We've been a preferred developer for Tractor Supply for many years. One of the reasons we work with Tractor Supply is because our culture and our values align. I've never been to any of the stores that she mentioned other than Fernley. We did the one in Fernley. I can't speak to, the service they received there, but like I said, we've worked with them for years. They do the right thing, and if they know there's a problem and someone lets them know there's a problem, 9 times out of 10, they jump on it and fix it. We just left their Tractor Supply Summit for the real estate construction 2 weeks ago. One of the big pushes that they've had for the last years was, go as fast as we can, get as quickly as we can. The summit theme this year was quality. Their pipeline's full for the next 2 years. They have really pushed on us as developers and GCs that they will not be accepting less than excellent product so that they have cleaner openings and cleaner operations.
Thank you. Board members, any rebuttal, questions, concerns? Seeing none, public comment is complete. I would open the board to a motion, please.
Mr. Vice Chair, Vic Ansotigi for the record. Based on the information provided in this application in the staff report and heard tonight, I move that the findings have been met for the conformance with the criteria found in Churchill County Code 16.08.080H, and therefore approve the special use permit SUP 25-38 for wholesale retail and repair services to establish a Tractor Supply Company store at 11 Village Drive, APN 008-421-05. This approval is subject to conditions as listed in the staff report.
I second.
Okay, been moved and seconded that we do approve the special use permit. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. Motion carries unanimously 4-0. Thank you very much. Yep. All right, moving on.
There is a 10-day appeal period if anybody wanted to file one.
10-day appeal period.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes. Apologize. There is a 10-day appeal period, so after 10 days, then please discuss that. Yeah, okay, sorry. Thank you, Diane. Moving on. Consideration and possible action regarding a special use permit application 25, SUP 25-38, filed by John Bate. Oh, excuse me, I missed one. We're back to item J. Consideration possible action or special use permit application SUP 25-39, filed by Adam Johnson for Greenwave Grappling LLC. The property is located at 2262 Reno Highway, assessor's parcel number 008-361-40, consisting of 0.09 acres in the C1 zoning district. The applicant proposes a martial arts academy in an existing multi-tenant complex. Thank you. Can you state your name and address for the record, please?
Yeah, there we go. My name is Adam Johnson, 190 South Bailey Street.
Thank you. And, okay. Amos?
Thank you, Vice Chair. Amos Akenov, Churchill County Planning Public Works, for the record. This business is already in operation. The application came about after learning about the business through the business license application. So now the applicant is seeking a special use permit to offer personal training at the multi-tenant business location at 2262 Reno Highway. The applicant is and will be the sole employee at the facility. The indoor space he rents includes open space for training, a restroom, and an office. He estimates an average of 20 daily visitors. The business operation hours are stipulated in the staff report. So normally, businesses that does training in classroom settings can have large number of people arriving for the same class and sometimes overlapping the next class. And this can overwhelm parking lot and other facilities, which is why we require a special use permit. And staff reviewed the request, but the criteria approved. Generally, we didn't find any issue with the request. The use is compatible with the surrounding uses, and the existing facilities which will not be overburdened. With that, we recommend that you approve with conditions as provided in the staff report.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Do you have any comments or?
Yeah, maybe just a couple things to add is any of the other tenants are, their business operations have finished for the day by the time mine pick up in the evenings. And then I do offset classes, so there's about 15-minute gap between the first class and the second class of the evening, just to avoid any conflict, people coming and going. Sure, of course. Yeah, so the other tenants that we share space with, their hours of operation are concluded by the time ours begin. And then there is an offset of 15 minutes between classes for folks from the first class to leave, folks from the second class to come in, just to reduce any traffic or congestion.
Thank you. Did you get that one? Very good. Okay, with that, I'll open it up for the board.
Vic Ansotigi for the record. So the big issue, of course, is parking. How many grapplers do you guys operate with?
Yeah, great question. So we average around 10 to 12 per class. The first class of the day runs from 5 to 6 p.m., and that's children. And then the second class starts at 6:15 till 7:30, and that's for adults. And roughly, again, 10 to 12, kind of between both. It'll fluctuate, but that's kind of a good average for either. So.
One of the big concerns was if there's going to be like a meet or a wrestling match or something like that, the influx of grandparents, parents, cousins, brothers showing up to watch an individual. Are you guys anticipating anything like that, like a meet?
No plan, or it wouldn't really be feasible in our space. So no plans for that.
Thank you. That's all I got.
Any public comment? I'm going to see none there for sure. Okay, so I would open this up.
Tammy Edgman for the record. Based on the information provided in the application and the staff report and heard tonight, I move that the findings have been met for conformance with the criteria found in Churchill County Code 1608.080H, and therefore approve the special use permit SUP 25-39 for Adam Johnson for Green Wave Grappling LLC to establish a personal training facility located at 17127 Reno Highway. Assessor's parcel number is 925177. This approval is subject to conditions as listed in the staff report.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we approve this special use permit. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously 4-0. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time. Moving on, item 10, code changes. I think Randy's up for this one.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. Randy Hines for the record. Yes, we'll be coming to you guys in December with some cleanup on the industrial sections that we just changed. We've got a little bit of cleanup in, I think we left one of the administrative SUPs in there, so we got to get that out. And then there was like 3 parcels that we have to make sure that those get, they were missed because they have C1 and I, so they were kind of missed in that. So we'll be bringing that to you in December. We'll also be bringing to you in January. We're going to hold a workshop in January, so I think, Diane, like January 24th or something like that. Somewhere around there, that 3rd week in January. We didn't want to do it during the
It's usually the
holiday
4th Tuesday.
Okay, there you go. Didn't want to do it during the holiday season, so we'll push it out to January. Mr. Sanford has asked us to do some quarterly code updates, minor code updates. One of them is going to be the E1 section in code in Title 16. We've got some building code sections that have to come, building code revisions that have to be done. So put that in mind that we're going to have that on the schedule in the 4th Tuesday in January. So, and again, we'll start doing that every quarter as per the Assistant County Manager's request to help clean the code up. So.
Anything from the board? No. Okay. Item 11, consent agenda. Unless we have we don't even need a motion on it, am I correct? We do need a motion, but we don't have to discuss the actual item unless you guys want to pull it out.
Diane, was there a consent agenda this month?
Yes, Chase Mills, it's on the agenda.
Mr. Chair, are you ready for a motion?
Yes.
Joe Frey, for the record, I move to approve the consent agenda as listed in the agenda.
Second.
Okay, been moved and seconded. We approve the consent agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Public comment. Looks like we cleaned that out. And so we are now adjourning. Thank you very much. That went actually better than